your first drama was not Boys Over Flowers?
Cut it.
Did you cut?
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying I'm gonna cut it at this point.
okay. Just keep moving, keep moving.
And welcome to the first episode of Least Most Podcast. Oh my
Woo!
God, Tommy!
Welcome,
Finally made
welcome, welcome,
it.
everybody.
Welcome. So today we're talking about a very interesting drama for our first episode called Oh My Baby. Woo! Oh my God, I'm such a hype man.
To be fair, anyway, I love this drama.
You love this drama?
Yes, just to start off, okay, I love this drama. And guys, a quick disclaimer: I can't promise that I'm not gonna give any spoilers. So
Yes. So
yeah, sorry. I hope you go and watch the drama beforehand. You will honestly, you will hear some spoilers, but I'll try my best to
we'll
keep
try
it
not to spoil it too
low.
much.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've given our disclaimer, we've given our spoiler alert. So if you've not seen this, still listen, but just to let you know, there might be a little bit swelled here and there.
Yeah.
Right. So Tommy, you said you love this drama. For me, well, I liked it at the start, but at the end, I was just like, it's dragging. Like I won't lie, I thought it was dragging.
Really? Did you think
Yeah.
so? I
You know
didn't feel
what?
like that at all.
I got to episode 10 and I was like, when will this end?
Seriously, no, 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 no. I didn't feel like that at all. Like
Did you
literally,
know?
no. I even wanted more. I wanted to see their life like as it went on. Like, oh no, no, no. I actually I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it, to be
You
honest.
know, I enjoyed it till I don't know why episode 10 was like the turning point for me. I just,
Really.
I just
What
thought,
happened? Where were you? Like, sorry. At what point did you feel like this is
I think
dragging?
episode 10, like, is it when, I feel like when she finds out the truth, he tells her the truth about his
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
See, guys, we're trying really hard not to spoil it, like.
Sis, I'm spoiling it. That's your business. Like, I don't care, man. Like,
So yeah, so I think when she tells him or he tells her the situation, his
hmm
situation, and I was like, okay, so finally she knows the truth, and then she has to decide whether she wants to stick with him or not. And I'm like, if you love the guy, right? Why don't you
mm,
just stick with him? If you know, but then she wants her baby out of the situation, right? Because this is
hmm
the whole concept of the drama is wanting to have a
a
child.
baby, yeah.
And
But then the thing is, she doesn't just want a baby though. Like, she wanted to do it the traditional, the old traditional way. You meet someone, you fall in love, you get married, then you have a baby. But then obviously, like she says, her fertility issues were like getting in the way, and time wasn't on her side. But I don't think she wanted to get a baby and sacrifice her love because
mm,
of wanting a baby. And I think that's what like the whole premise of the show was about, and kind of like showing that internal struggle as well within herself of like trying to be okay without getting what you want in life, like because I don't think it was just about a baby. Do you get what I mean? Like
yeah,
the point of her having a baby is because she didn't want to feel wanting a baby, sorry, is because she didn't want to grow up and feel lonely, because she saw her mom, and she every time there was a scene especially that I felt like that was really highlighted the fact that
mm,
she didn't want to be alone. It was, I think she came home, her mom wasn't home, and her best friend wasn't around either, and it just felt like she was just all alone in that moment.
mm,
And
mm,
she was trying to like come to terms with like the fact that she may not get a baby, and to her it just seemed like a scary notion, feeling like she was gonna grow old with no one around. So I think that was more of her struggle rather than her actually wanting to go through the process of having a baby. Not to say that she didn't want it, because she clearly did with all every fiber of her being, but I don't think it was just about having a child. I think it
so
was
you
also
feel
about the
like
fact that
so
of
you
it
feel
was a thing of her loneliness, her
mm,
dealing with the possibility of her growing old alone. I think that
that
was
isn't
her main
scary.
issue.
That is scary. But do you know what,
Yeah,
Tommy? I
I
just
don't like that
realized we
one.
actually didn't give a background story as to what this drama is about. We've just
Oh,
gone into
lol. Oops. I'm excited.
gone, we've just gone into it. Right. So basically, this drama, Oh My Baby, is about a middle-aged woman. So she's 40 years old,
No, she's
and
39.
she's
She's
39.
39.
Well, she
Yeah.
turns 40.
Yeah,
Okay.
she turns 40 and 40 during the drama, but we start at her being 39. So,
Okay. So
get the
she's
facts right.
39. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she's 39 and she finds out that she has a fertility issue, right? You know,
Endometriosis. She has endometriosis.
and see, I can't say, how'd you say it?
Anyway, endometriosis.
There we go. So she has
Yeah.
that problem.
Mhm.
And, you know, as Tommy has said, she comes to a realization that, her mom's older, and has battled cancer before, and she's realized that she doesn't have anyone else around. So, just this kind of propelled her into wanting to have a child, and
No, I think she said from childhood she's always wanted to have a child, be a mother. That was
mm,
from when what happened with her mom and her parents. She decided that she wanted like that was her dream, her lifelong dream to be a mother.
to be a mother.
Yeah,
Okay, and
yeah.
then she works at a baby magazine called Oh My
Mhm.
Baby,
Mhm.
and so I think that also kind of added to all the knowledge and her love for kids because she genuinely has love for children.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
she does.
I saw that in the drama, and I'm like, and it
She
also,
made me want to have a kid. Like I can't lie to you. I'm not even joking. She made me want to have a kid. Just they're all just so beautiful and kids are just so cute. I was just like,
but they're a
oh,
handful.
cutie. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for one just yet. But honestly, it was nice. It was nice to see and then but yeah, sorry, I keep cutting in. Sorry, continue.
So anyway, our main character is called Harry, right? So Harry is our main character. She's a
Yeah,
lovely 39-year-old woman. She has a best friend called what's his name?
Jae
Yoon Jae
Young.
Young, yeah.
Yeah,
And then there's two other guys appear. So there's the best friend, then there's the guy that she's had
a
like a little
colleague.
bit of a
Yeah,
connection with at Christmas parties. You know them guys, them
yeah.
Christmas parties.
the, those blasted work events. Everybody be having a bit too much to drink.
Then you
Oof.
see that cute guy by the copier, and you're like, did I not notice him before?
Then you have those aunties like coming to tell you their life story.
Oh,
We know them ones.
we knew that was. So yeah, so this colleague that she noticed, and well, they had a little bit of a not a thing, but yeah, they had a bit of a thing. And then there's this other young guy who works at the office as well, Udom. So so the story is based around Jang Nari and um, these three men, and her trying to find a suitable sperm donor, basically,
Basically.
um, in the three men. To be honest, I liked her best friend. He's a doctor. He has a child already, and they've been best friends for so long.
No, 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 no,
But,
no, no.
but,
I do you know I have so many issues with the best friend. So many issues with the best friend.
that's why I said but. But what's your issues with the best friend?
No,
Go
no,
on.
no, no. Continue before I
No, you
start.
tell me. You tell me. You tell me. You tell me.
Right, basically. No, no. I need you to finish the quick synopsis and then we can get into each character because oof, I have issues with that. But that guy, he's actually. I think he may actually be my least favorite character in the whole drama.
Really?
I honestly,
Um, I can
honestly,
see that. I can see why you'll think that. Yeah. Yeah. I
no, I
can
don't
see
think you
that.
can.
No, I can see that though. I can see why he would be your least favorite. Who would be you know what? Her father would be my least favorite character.
Do you know what? Like, I've had my fair, like, as in, I've had my fair share of shows that have these problematic fathers. So honestly, I'm kind of like, kind of when you're like desensitized to it, to like
Mm,
the fathers just being sometimes being a deadbeat or the parents just not being adequate in that sense. I mean, honestly, the father just needed to live his life. He had his own issues.
true
So
story.
like yeah, obviously he wasn't a good dad to her.
Mm.
not to say he wasn't a good person, he just wasn't a good dad. And I mean, he wasn't a present dad, like he left. So obviously, I mean, they weren't even in contact. It's not those ones where at least you like, oh, in contact. He wasn't in contact. So I don't even think I have much emotion towards the dad because I'm just
That's
like, yeah,
true. Mm.
whatever. But basically, all taking off from what Simi said. So basically, now she has this dilemma of trying to choose between these three men that have taken an interest in her, and she has limited time because she needs to get a surgery done. I think she has a lump growing in one of her ovaries or her
Mhm.
fallopian tube. I'm not sure which one, but basically she needs to get a surgery done soon. But she's been putting it off because the doctor basically said she can have if unless she can have a baby within the next few, I think,
6 months.
3 months or yeah, 6 months, okay, and then within the next 6 months or so, that she needs to get the surgery, and that's going to even reduce her possibility of having a child even more. So obviously she's like, I'll wait, let me see if I can get someone. And that is where the story kind of
Begin.
starts off. First off, yeah, that doctor was so mean. In my in my opinion, that doctor was so, there was actually there was no need for her to be so mean. Like she spoke to like Harry with like so much contempt. Like she just spoke to her like yeah, you're gonna like your chances are slim. And then she was just not, she didn't speak to her very sympathetically or empathetically. I was just like,
But
what
you
is your
have to
problem?
understand, like doctors see a lot of patients.
No, I get that, but like there's a way to like
I
say
know.
information without speaking like because when she was like, oh well, I'm single and whatever, and the doctor, she was trying to explain her situation to the doctor, and the doctor was kind of speaking like, oh well, in your dreams you're never gonna be able to find someone and have a baby within the next 6 months, kind of
Well,
thing,
that
like.
kind of made her more determined. I think that's
No, yeah, because that's the kind of character she is. But to somebody else that could have broke them down. Like,
true.
she's tenacious. Doesn't mean everybody is tenacious. And that was, I don't know. I was just like, why is the doctor being so mean? But I guess that's just part of like the
The
writing
whole,
of the script and whatever. But like,
yeah.
there was no need. Doctors out there, please don't be saying. I hope you guys aren't giving bad news to
Well,
people
they
with
have
contempt.
ethics.
Like,
They have ethics that they need to follow, especially when you're
some
talking
people are
to.
just mean, okay? Some people are just, no, it's true. Some people are just mean. I remember when I went to the GP once, GP's bop up. Anyway,
Oh yes.
sorry.
But those who don't know, general practitioners is doctors here in the UK. And
Yeah, like the ones that you visit.
yeah, because
Um,
we're based in the UK. But go on.
yeah. So basically, like I remember going to the GP once, and like I was trying to explain my issues, and he was just trying to like get me out of the door. Like I understand that like you only have like a 10-minute window to see each patient, but bruh, like sit
Ten
down for 1 second.
minutes.
Yeah, they have like 10. I think there's like a 10-minute rule. Like they only have like 10 minutes to see each patient, so they have to like listen to you, do what they have to do within like
To be
that time
honest,
frame because
as
they have a
much
lot
as
of
I
people.
go on, sorry.
No, I was like, oh, because they have a lot of people to see, which is
Mm.
reasonable. But I'm just like, bro, I'm sick. Sit down for a second and let me explain my issues so that you can actually diagnose me properly, and I don't have to come here 2 weeks later complaining of the same problem. So sometimes, it's not everyone. A lot of doctors, I have a really nice GP now. Like, she's just so lovely. But like, not all of them are nice. Like, some of them
No.
just like, I'm just like, I don't know who pooped in your cornflakes, but bruh, like, literally, like, bruh, stop and listen. No, it's true. But anyway, moving on from the doctor, that was the first thing. Secondly, that best friend. Moving on to that horrible best friend. I actually think he's just very self righteous.
Self-righteous. I think
Yeah.
he's selfish. He's selfish. He was ready to leave her quick when he was in a relationship, but then, you know, when their marriage fell apart, when he got his divorce, where did he turn to? Her family. So at the start, I was just like, is this guy for real?
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, what kind of selfish person? And the thing is that I'm all about forgiving, like forgiving and forgetting, but don't come round. Well, I understand he had a child with him, so I guess that made her a little bit more empathetic and sympathetic to his situation. But don't come round and then now trying to start professing your love for me.
I mean, in that sense, sorry, excuse me. In that sense, I mean, I don't think that was his intention because, like, he just, his wife basically just left him. So, like, it wasn't like he had just gone through a divorce. I don't even think it was a case of him just wanting to show up and just come around. But because like they did grow up together and they had been through life together. They went to uni together. Like they pretty much seen every stage of life together. So I kind of think it wasn't a case of, oh, like, I'm just gonna come around and profess my love to you. I think it was just a thing of like him finally realizing, looking around at the people that were actually there for him, and him finally realizing like the people that he should have taken what sorry, how do I say it? The people who should have been like treated nicely in his opinion, like in his eyes. Like he didn't, sometimes you have to lose something to be able to appreciate it,
That's
apparently.
true.
i
That's
mean i
true.
mean I'm not a full believer of that, because some cherish what you have while you have it, I think. But that's another story for another day. But basically there is that saying of like, sometimes you don't realize what you have until you've lost it. And I think that he said that, like he basically said that, like he didn't say it word for word, but that was what he was alluding to when he
Mm,
was like, well, after all this time, that's when he finally realized. But then I was like, bruh, it's too late. Like, and that's in situations like this, that's what always tends to happen. It's always too late by the time you realize that you should have cherished what you had while you had it. And I think that was one of his issues, Jae Young. And the reason why I didn't like his best friend, and also her female best friend too, was kind of problematic. But anyway,
oh,
um,
her. To be honest,
yeah,
I found her as like a minor character, like just
she was a
like,
minor character, but every
like
time she was around, I didn't really like. She was a little bit problematic, but then human beings are problematic in general. So I
that's
mean,
true.
I'm not
What did you find
perfect.
problematic about her? To be honest,
I
I
have not.
didn't really focus on her when I was watching it because the only thing I saw about her, is she's married, she's got twin boys, they're a handful, they're at an age now that they're going to school, so she wants to get back into the workplace. So I feel like she was in a stage in life that she just felt underappreciated as a mother
I
and
get that.
as a wife. And to be honest, I've seen this quite a lot. A lot of women, they after they take in maternity leave, not paternity leave, maternity leave, and they come back to the workplace, or they take long extended leaves like 2, 3, 4 years, and
Mm.
they come back. It's now because of that gap in their CV, they're not experienced. All the experience before that is like, pew, out the window, gone with the wind, and it's a bit sad to say that you can only really continue your career if you don't take a break.
Um, I mean, I agree with everything you've said. Yeah, but the reason why I said I found her a little bit problematic was basically, um, I didn't like when Harry was kind of going through her issues. Like it felt like her and Jae Young sometimes kind of downplayed Harry's issues. Like, so for example, there was a point where like something happened in Harry. Try not to spoil it for you guys, whatever.
I think
But
we've probably
basically,
spoiled it at this point.
oh well. Right. So there was when with the sperm donor thing, when she was trying to get a sperm donor, and that issue happened, and she was trying to explain to them that she wants to try and have a child out of wedlock, like
Mm.
without getting married. And they kind of like almost made it seem like they ridiculed her and not didn't want to listen. And I was just like, what is your problem? Like, just sit down and actually listen
It's
to
because
this
they
like
didn't
girl.
know that she had an injury to the
Yeah, but
umbilical.
like as a friend, like I don't need to tell you all my like every single issue before you finally try and understand me. Just listen to me for a second and actually
Mm.
hear what I have to say before then telling me your opinions and pushing your opinions down on me. That was the first thing. And secondly, for someone who apparently like wanted to have a job and everything, she sure loved to complain to her about her kids so much. Like I understand like she had her own issues and obviously like she was going through it, but it's kind of like you're rubbing salt in like someone else's wound when basically the one
Oh,
thing
are you
that one
saying?
person had like what I'm trying to say is like she was always complaining about her boys, but at the same like and she was always complaining about the boys to someone who would give anything to just have one of them, just one. Like
Okay,
I just felt like she was very insensitive in that moment, and she did it multiple times. But I understand that at the end of the day, like if you're my friend, even if like
but then you
you're
have to
going through
remember.
issues, I should still be able to go through like explain and complain about my issues too. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't know. I just in my opinion, or maybe I'm just biased because Harry was the main character and I just loved her. So like
Mm.
yeah, probably, but I just felt like she was quite she was a nice character, and I liked when she gave out to Jae Young when he was trying to move mad. But like, no, I like the fact that she was like, yeah, no, like you can't like go out of someone's life for this long and
And
then
then
just come
try and
back
come
and
back
then just
for
expect
the
them
same,
to
yeah.
like fall in love with you. It doesn't work like that, and you've already missed like your opportunity. So like, boy, move. But like, so I like that part, like what she did there, and she did the right thing in my opinion. But I just don't like the fact that she was always complaining about her boys, like to
But then
Harry.
you have to remember, probably Harry is probably one of her only friends, first off. And secondly, you have to remember that, she probably, you have to see it from the point of view that I agree with what you said, first off.
Mm-hmm.
She just didn't see as talking about children, because she has two of them, fair enough, as a problem that would be, insensitive, because,
Yeah, but that's problematic in and of itself. That means she has no self awareness. If you don't have self awareness, that's how you'll be saying things, and then you don't know how hurtful they can be to other people. Like I don't mind her complaining about her unemployedness, or um like how she's
but then
struggling to find a kid and find a job, but don't complain about the fact that kids are stressful, kids are this, and kids are, you don't want kids, and you don't want, like, you're basically, she's basically saying, it's like, now, if let's say I was unemployed, god forbid, but if I was unemployed and then I was really really working hard and trying my best to get a job,
mm,
going to interviews after interview, and then you have a job, and then you're telling me, like, you're coming home to come and complain to me like all the time, saying, oh, this job is so stressful, this job is like that's insensitive of you, because I'm like, I understand that your job is stressful, but I don't even, at least you have one,
okay,
like read the
I
room a
see where
little
you're
bit.
coming from. I see where you're coming from, and it is, you are right about the self-awareness and her being insensitive. I don't know. I kind of, not that I don't see there is no harm, but from what I judge for, or my perception of their
Hmm.
relationship is that, because they've known each other for such a long time, it's like no subject is off the table. But
Fair
then,
enough.
and let's say we're friends, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like your analogy of the job, and me complaining about my job to you, I wouldn't see, because I love you so much as my friend, and no subjects off the table. I
Mm.
wouldn't want to restrict our relationship, by not talking about something that might hurt you. Because if she starts, pushing herself back and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about kids," you know, obviously Harry's gonna notice, and Harry's like, "Oh, is it?" And first of all, Harry works in a baby magazine. Someone who really wants a child and working in a baby, you're surrounded by children all the time. So it must be painful to go to work every single day. And you're meeting other couples that have fertility issues, you know, that do get, children at the end, like that two couples that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
But from my, your perspective is very, very correct. It is, a issue of self-awareness and being insensitive. But at the same time, for a friendship point of view, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you restricting yourself on what you talk about because of your, you don't want to be insensitive to your friends, then it's like, then your
I
friend,
mean, there's it's a lose lose in what, in like, somebody always gets hurt. I think in
exactly.
this
It's
kind of
like, oh, do I walk on eggshells and not talk about this stuff with, who is supposed to be my friend? And if she notices, why you not talking to me about your job, or why you not talking to me about your kids?
mm,
And then
mm.
it's not like, oh, it's not, I don't want to hurt you. And then it's like, unless she goes, oh,
Do
what
you know
if
what?
you
I would have preferred if we got to see it, some a like
that type of
uh
dynamic? Yeah.
no, a scene on that, like her pulling back and not complaining about the kids, and then
Mm,
Harry saying, "Oh, like, feel free, like, my issue shouldn't like impose on
ah,
yours."
yeah,
Like, I could have done with a scene like that. I wouldn't have
yeah,
minded. Like,
yeah.
that wouldn't have been a bad
Directors
scene to
take
watch.
notes. Directors,
Like,
writers
because
take
then
notes.
it shows, like, it shows true friendship, like, because you're right, probably Harry definitely would have noticed that she's not talking about, she's not complaining about her kids, and she definitely would have pulled her up on it, because that's the kind of person she is. But
Exactly.
then I think that it just shows, like, to me it would show the strength of their friendship more, in my opinion, but that's anyway.
Mm,
um and then, yeah, so I think that's my take on her friends. I don't even think I got to speak much about Jae Young, But the reason why I said I didn't like her friend, her best friend the most, the guy, was basically because I felt like he was self-righteous. And now I'm gonna go into basically, I'm kind of gonna go into his dynamic with his ex-wife,
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
based on the fact that, and this is also given the reason why I feel like he's self-righteous. um he was a really good friend. Like when he came back, he's a really good friend to Jang Harry, right?
Yes. Yes.
He seems like an alright guy, like an actual good guy.
You know,
It's
the
just,
mother approved of him as well.
yeah. So,
Mm.
but the issue I have with him is the way he treats his ex-wife, like without trying to understand, without trying to. He all he just wanted to do was condemn and blame, and that made me not like. There's nothing he could do in this drama that was sweet that I would ever like, because I'm sorry, like women go through like postpartum depression, like
Yes.
it's a very very normal thing, like.
And
And
it's
I
very
just felt like he
common.
was very insensitive to not like try and understand. Like I
But the
understand that,
thing
okay.
is, if you, sorry to cut you off, the thing
No
is,
problem.
at the beginning of the drama, we weren't told that she suffered
I
postpartum.
could tell. I could tell. I could tell. Like it doesn't take a genius to be able to tell. Like
Um,
immediately, like as the drama kept, like before she
but
finally said it in like the final episode or something, I knew that was what the issue was, because basically they were saying, oh, she ran away, like she chose her career over this child, like she just ran away, and I'm like, people do that. Like people get scared, people run away, like you haven't even tried to like talk about it. You've just basically like put the nail in the coffin and just been like, yeah, she's a terrible mom. And then she's like, she goes through a series of actions trying to like worm her way back into his life so that she can also be there, like
for her child,
for her
yeah,
child as well. Like, and he's kind of like, well, no, you don't deserve to. Me and my child are gonna be okay by ourselves. Like in the first few episodes, they tried to make us feel sympathy for him because he's a single dad and he's just
yeah,
going through the motions by himself. And I was like, oh, this is refreshing to see. Like normally it's always the single mom, single mom, single
yeah.
mom. So it was quite refreshing to see like a single dad dynamic, that's like when the child is actually like a baby. Because usually if we see a single dad with a child dynamic, like it's always like the child is like the kid is already like in their teenage years or already
Mm.
grown. So this was very refreshing to see, which is one thing I must say about this drama.
Yeah, it's very refreshing in that
In
perspective.
that aspect, yeah. So but the issue I had with it, like I did start feeling sympathy for him at the beginning, until I started seeing the actions, the way he treated them, like
But then you have
the
to
baby's
remember that
mom.
some men, like, he even said it at the end that he didn't even try to understand her, or he didn't even.
Exactly,
The thing
exactly.
is
That
that he
and
didn't
then
even.
you can't expect me to like a character like that. Like at
What
the
I'm
end of the
saying is,
day,
listen.
fair enough, he had growth. Nah, because fair enough, there was growth. Nah, nah, I can't even, because I
Sorry,
feel very
wait. Let
strongly
me land.
about
Let
this.
me land. Let me. I just took off. Let me land.
Because okay, fine, fine. I will let you land.
Let me land. So he even said at the end, right? He said that he didn't realize until later on that it could have been postpartum depression. And for a lot of guys,
She said that, not he.
no, she said that, but then he kind of said that he too. If you, I don't know if I read the subs wrong, but he kind of said, oh, that he too then realized that it could be that because first of all, he's a doctor, so this is something that he would have been taught on. And you think that the relationship will be stronger because you're both doctors that will understand each other and the medical um field of after giving birth and things like that. But you have to remember, I don't want to say because he's a man and give him an excuse because that's so problematic. No. But the thing is that sometimes, like you said, self aware. He wasn't. He was swamped with work. He was doing lectures. He had to give up a lot of things when she left. And sorry,
Exactly. See,
I'm not
this is
blaming
where I'm
him.
gonna cut you off, sis.
No, I'm
Hold
not
up.
blaming him. I'm not giving him an excuse. But what I'm saying is that we have to understand that, like, but he didn't realize any of that, right, until very later on.
And then, but then he's doing like, my problem with that is it's okay not to be able to like to make mistakes and not realize things like this. But the issue I have with it is like he went on to blame, like he was blaming her throughout the whole drama up until the last episode. Like he literally blamed her the whole way through, making her seem like she was this horrible mother that just wanted to desert her child.
He
And she like
was hurt. Hurt people, hurt people.
it's yeah,
Girl.
that's okay, but you can't expect me to like a character like that. That's my point. Like I felt like I'm just trying to explain to you that I don't think that he was that great of a guy. Like it's okay that he he was nice and he didn't understand a lot of these things until later on. Like first of all, the first issue, there's a thing called paternity leave, guys. Hello, like no, it's true. Like
He did
why
say
didn't
that. He said that. He said
yeah, he didn't. He said it. Yeah, he
he
didn't
said
take
that he could
paternity
have
leave.
taken
What did you
off
expect? Like,
time.
what did you expect from this lady? Like, she's a working doctor. Like, they're both working. They were both working at the time. Yeah, and then they had this baby, and then he just expected her to just drop everything, drop her whole life, and just just
That's
live
the
and
issue.
make her whole life around this baby, which is
And that's
fine. Like,
what led to
if
the
they
postpartum
exactly,
depression.
but it was this is my issue. Like if they had had this discussion to be like, yes, I'm going to give up my job, I'm ready to do this, if they communicated this, then it would have been fine. But he didn't. He just assumed that she's meant to take up this motherly role, and just and what she said was all she ever heard was that baby crying, to the point where she just had to leave. It wasn't until when she went to the park that day on her daughter's 100-day birthday, 100-day celebration,
Celebration, yeah.
yeah, that she literally went to the park. She just had to leave. Like, and I just felt like he was like, this is why I feel like he's very self-righteous, because
Mm.
up until like the last episode, all he did was blame this woman for something that a lot of women go through. And I was just like, for someone who's a pediatrician, I expect more from you. Like I expected more
But
yeah,
the
so like, I'm
thing
just
is,
like, you don't deserve Harry. You don't, because if you're
he's
gonna turn around and do the exact same thing to her, then I don't want any part of it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, because you can't even deal with the mother of your own child right now. Like, you're basically blaming her for having postpartum depression. And now you like, because if you literally rewatch the drama, man, because I was stressed just watching him just blame her. I'd literally like talk to my screen and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, he'd say stuff like, oh, you choose your career, go and be a doctor and go and do your life and go and live your life. Me and my
he
child
was
will be
hurt. To be
okay.
honest,
Like,
I'm not
I
giving
don't
him an
care if you're
excuse.
hurt. Like, I
He was
don't care if
hurt.
you're hurt.
And
Like,
the thing
I'm
that
sorry,
when she
because
came,
then he basically almost denied his daughter of her mom based on his hurt. That's selfish. I'm sorry, that
that's
is
why he
selfish.
said he's a
If not
soft
for the mother,
guy.
if not for the
I said,
woman keep coming, like, if not for her kept her actions of keep coming back to the child over and over
and
again,
not
like
even
coming
just
back
the
to
mom
that, like
coming back, but Jan Nari saying to him that, inviting the wife over and doing things like, because she also played a role in
a
trying to
big
get
role
them
in trying to get them back
back
together.
together.
Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I don't. You can be a very successful, like, you can easily successfully co-parent. Like, you can do it. It's possible. People do it. So I was just like, why can't you just fathom, like, you're being selfish in the moment, like you're
He
depriving
was
this
he was
woman.
selfish. He was
And
selfish because
so I mean,
that's the
I
thing.
rest my case. My case has been rested. That's all I'm trying to
Like,
say. That's all I've been trying to say. Like, and I can't personally co-sign or like a character like that. I don't care if he's grown throughout the whole drama and then we get to see that growth at the end of the series. I don't care at this point. Like, from the first episode all the way to maybe the 15th episode, I couldn't stand him.
he couldn't
So
stand him.
it was
To
kind
be
of hard for me
honest,
to like
I
see the other side of, like, I get all this fact that hurt people, whatever, but I'm sorry, like, there's no excuse for you to want to be selfish enough to almost deprive your daughter of her mother, of the presence of her mother, based on knowing well as well that you have the same best friend that you claim to love, yeah, went through so much hurt because her mom was a single parent. Like, you want to tell me that you're like, nah, I'm sorry, I
and another
cannot.
thing I saw as well, not the only reason why I like him was because of the growth aspect, and it kind of giving us a refreshing aspect of, being a single dad, and, working hard and actually trying to see things from a female perspective of, how a lot of, because he couldn't do it all, he was, not even knowing how to do the right formula, and when the baby's
Yeah, but then
crying.
that's the same thing that every single, parent, mother or father has to go through when they first have a child. That's normal. I can't bring myself to feel sympathy for you for
I
being
don't
a
know, maybe
parent.
I'm too soft-hearted.
Maybe you are, like, and maybe I'm the more like harsh one out of the two of us. But I'm sorry, that's your responsibility. You brought this child into the world, so I don't understand. What do
Listen,
you expect to happen?
But what I was gonna say was that another reason why I'm happy she didn't go for him was because I felt like he was still kind of looking for a mother for his child as well. You know, especially when he was trying to use his child as a, as a reason for them to do stuff together, like, oh, come
Mm,
shopping with me. Like, okay, fair enough, you might not know,
mm,
things, and you need an expert because she is working for a baby magazine. But
mm-hmm.
at the same time, it's a bit like, should you not do things by yourself and actually, ask her out on a date if you really liked her like that? So that's one of the reasons why I felt like, it's a bit, But
all's fair in love and war, as they say. I'm sorry. Like, fair enough. Like, he probably was using his child as a excuse to see her, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do in this life. So,
okay.
no, I
So,
mean, not in a manipulative way, but like in the sense of like, ooh, maybe if I tell her to come for this, like for the birthday, like maybe I'll get to see her, kind of thing. I mean, we're anyway. I'm not excusing the fact that he used his child as kind of
mm,
like a tool to get Harry um to be in his presence or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not surprised at the same time. But that was not my main issue with him. But yeah, I think I'm done speaking about him because even
okay,
thinking
yeah,
about
let's
him just makes me
let's move
angry.
on because this could end up being like 2 hours long if we go on about him. And we've not even spoken about the main character, so the main man and the main woman of the show. So
Yes,
yeah, we've not even
Isang.
spoken about the relationship, and we're like 35 minutes into. Ah!
Alrighty. Isang. I felt I liked him. I liked him because I got to see his cowardice. Is that how you say it?
Cowardness,
Cowardice.
coward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that word y'all can Google it. So basically, I liked him because of that. Like, although sometimes he got on my nerves, could be like, bruh, like
He was a bit
just
childish.
yeah, he could be a bit childish, and he
I
was
was
a
just
bit
kind of
like,
like, you're a grown man. But to be honest, you know what I realized in this show is that it actually taught me something in life. No matter how old you are, we're all children. Like, we're literally, there's, to be honest, the concept of being an adult to me is like
mm,
another thing because, you know, even at our age, I still don't
mm-hmm.
understand what it is to be an adult. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
at
get
their,
that.
at their age, you still have that playfulness, that childlikeness to him. And at any age, I feel like whether you're 40, you're 50, a lot of people don't realize, like, I feel like we're all still big children, but with more
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities. And I feel like
Mm.
that's how life is. As you get older, you're just taking on more responsibilities that society says you need to take on. But whereas you're still kind of like a child, you never really truly grow up. You just learn to
I don't
be.
know. I agree and I disagree, but anyway,
I don't know. That's the way I'm starting to see life as because
fair
you
enough.
know,
That's your view on life. I
yeah,
can't
because if you look at like parents, some of them like you're like, why are you still acting like? Then you think about it, why are they still acting like a child? Like even my you know 6-year-old will understand. Well, I don't have a 6-year-old, but for
I was
example.
about to be like, girl, when did you get a kid? I don't know about that.
What I'm saying is, even like a 6-year-old, not my 6-year-old, even like a 6-year-old would kind of like, like what? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe that's just my perception of it now.
Of life in general,
Of like
or
we us not being actually us just still being like not children, but we're like children in adult-sized bodies with more responsibility.
I get what you're trying to say. I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know if
not
I'm
ready to
explaining it
start
right.
deciphering. I think I get what you mean, but
Let's not get into the philosophies of life.
yeah, not today.
Not the time. But yeah, I also quite like the comedic element of the show. It was so funny,
Yeah, it was. It could
especially
be
at the
funny at
beginning.
times. I
Yeah.
liked their relationship. I liked. Oh, it made me want to love. I say, good. I need love too.
Ah!
No, it made me want to love, can't lie. I said, this is lovely. This is nice to see. And I don't know, is it just me? Yeah, but I don't, there must have been something with the director liking to show their feet. Like, because I kept noticing, right? There were at least 5 times there was like a scene on then either like something would happen and they would either like walk towards each other or walk away from each other. But then you wouldn't even see their face, you just see their feet.
Feet.
Like either walking away or walking towards each other. And I don't know, I feel like maybe I don't know, there was there was probably a meaning behind that, but I'm still trying to figure that out because
Maybe
I
we
don't
should
really
email the
understand.
director and ask
I
what was
don't
the deal with feet.
No, because I no, because there definitely was one too many scenes of where they like literally just zoomed into their feet, like when they were either walking away from each other or walking
Mm,
towards each other. And also that reminds me, that brings me to something that I quite liked in the show.
okay.
They weren't forceful. Like, how to explain it? So basically, normally the olden, like no, like the past Korean shows that I've watched, like the quite traditional shows that we've watched, most of the time when they have like an argument, there's always that scene that's meant to be cute. But I don't know how I feel about those scenes anymore. Like
Oh,
where
you're
where
gonna like you're gonna break the rose glass for a lot of women right now.
I'm sorry, but basically, like there's
But they
usually
need
a
to hear
scene
it. They
where
need to
like
hear it. They need to hear it.
yeah. So there's usually a scene where like maybe they have an argument or like they don't see eye to eye and then the girl is walking away and then the guy pulls her back and then she just falls into his arms and then they have like this slow motion moment and then they may kiss or then he may force himself on her sometimes or like he'll be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or whatever. They have like this moment. Fine, right? It's quite cliche. We've seen it in many dramas,
Mm.
many. Like and before, I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I used to think this was. I'd be
Like,
like,
oh
oh my
my
god,
god, oh
let a
my
guy.
god,
I
it's
want a guy
so
to
cute.
like
And then
exactly like I want
you
a guy
look
to just
below and
drag
you're
me
like,
back.
ah.
I want to fall in your arms and whatever. But now I'm just like, no, that's not
No, that's
cool.
not cute.
Like now, like as a grown, like now that I'm grown up. So well, when I say grown up, are you really ever grown up?
That's
Is
what
what?
I mean. Are you
But
really everyone?
but now that I've
You
grown
get my
in some
point.
aspects of my thinking, I actually don't think it's okay. Like I genuinely don't grab me, don't touch me. Like why are you touching me? Like it's weird. Like
Wait, I had
on a
this
normal day,
argument. Let's separate for a while. Come back when we're cool down. Let's talk about it
exactly.
again.
So like normally,
Exactly.
yeah, normally, so we have that normal cliche scene, yeah. But when I actually started to like grow and rationalize it and like think about these types of scenes, I'm like, actually, if this was to actually happen to me, I wouldn't want a guy to like grab me. Like, why are you grabbing me? Like, I am not an object. Like, I do not belong to you. Why are you grabbing me? I don't find it cute. I mean, other people, this is unpopular opinion probably. Other people might find it cute, but I don't find it cute personally. And that's
Some
one
girls
thing
might
that
feel
I
that,
liked
or some
in
guys
this
might feel
drama.
it as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked in this drama. There was a scene where like they met each other, like they bumped into each other like coincidentally, like on the beach, and there were fireworks. It was a
Oh yeah,
beautiful
I
scene.
remember that scene. It was dead cute.
Yeah, it was a beautiful scene, right? And then so they were walking towards each other, and then they had like a quick dialogue, and then she was basically saying, "Oh, like they always keep bumping into each other." And at this point, he was having internal conflict with himself because he's like, if like I'm trying to let this woman go because I'm not right for her, but if I
Mm.
don't like if but I don't know how much more I can like hold myself back. So he was having that huge internal conflict, which is fine. So then that scene, I loved it because when he decided that he wanted to go for her, she was walking away from him at the time, and I
Mm.
love the fact that he didn't pull her back to be like, actually no, like he instead just sped up, like just increased his pace a little bit, and then like spoke to her again instead of dragging her back. And I don't know, so other people, probably people didn't even notice that, but to me I noticed it
You
because I was
noticed
just
it,
like,
yeah.
for once, like we don't have a main lead dragging the woman back like she's an object and like she belongs to them and like
Mm.
she's
Mm.
his property. Instead he
Snapping my
respected her
fingers for you.
exactly, honestly, like he respected her personal space. He respected the fact that she doesn't belong to him and she's a whole human being, and
Mm.
instead just sped up his pace and actually tried to just speak to her. And then he gave her enough space to be like, actually I want to, like, if I don't want to be in this situation, I'm still gonna walk away, or if she chose to stay, kind of thing. And then they had a beautiful scene in that moment, and then they had their own thing, and which I thought was just beautiful because I was just like, for once, like and that made me appreciate the drama more. That made me appreciate their dynamic more. It just felt more mature, felt more like, like we know how to actually deal with our emotions. Although
Exactly.
they probably didn't, because there were scenes where they were just hella problematic. Like, I'm just like, bruh, like you need to grow some whatever. Like, pull up your pants. Honestly, pull up your big boy pants and deal with your emotions,
You
and stop
know,
being a coward.
the
But
I think
like,
what
yeah, apart from that, I thought they were beautiful as a couple, genuinely.
I like them as a couple, but I think what made me kind of not even switch off, but is when he left, like for that period of time. Is it 3 months that he
Yeah, that
left?
was oof. If
I was
anybody's
just kind
leaving
of
you,
like,
don't do that. Don't
I
do
was just
that.
like, why? She's already said she's all right.
Yeah.
Why can't you just trust in her decision? You know,
I mean,
but
you have to understand that he blames himself, and remember that
why
was
is
the
he
reason why his the first woman left him, and now and then he also remember that he also met her, and then he saw like she was happy, and he asked her if she was happy, and that was what made him actually decide that, I think I'm gonna leave you for like this 3 months. And I genuinely, I mean, I understood why he did what he did, but at the same time, just like coming from Harry's point of view, I'm just like, you can't leave someone hanging for that length of
exactly? What if
time.
she
Like,
had met
that's,
someone else in that time period, right?
it's not
Well, we
even
know
that.
it's not
Like,
realistic, but
it's not even about her meeting someone. It's just like, I don't know about you, but like, even if I have an argument with my friend, or a misunderstanding, or like I've kind of left things like up in the air with my friend, I won't be able to sleep. Like, I literally will not be okay for like even one day. Talk less of like if someone did that to me for three
three
months.
months. No, that
Nah,
kind of made
like
me kind of
that.
like, oh, I
I
was
can
like,
actually run mad.
maybe.
Nah, I can actually run mad. That's actually, as in, you will see me, as in I will go mad. Like, no,
You
no,
will
you're
always
laughing, but
like,
I'm being so
no.
serious. I'm being so serious. I will actually go mad. Like, you can't just leave me hanging for 3 good months, like 3 good months. And she was
3 months.
just
Oh,
there.
nah,
She was
nah.
just
For
there,
me,
waiting, 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 to potentially also still hear a rejection. Nah, you're taking the piss.
exactly.
You're taking the
And for
piss.
me, and for me, that kind of just made me switch off. I was just like, you know what, you guys fought to get to this point, and then boom, bam, he disappears. I understand what you're saying that like, you know, he had that internal conflict, and plus that's why his first wife left him. But he was doing the fertility treatment, and because he was the one that was infertile, really. So anyway, I just felt that it was a bit harsh, to just
Oh,
because she
see
could
me,
have.
out of the two of us, you're the one spoiling the show more
I'm
than me,
sorry.
man.
I'm
Just so
sorry.
you know, like, because I didn't say it, you said it.
I'm
Listeners, hear he,
ah!
hear he. It was Simi that was spoiling the show for you, not me. Just saying.
Relax.
Hashtag just saying.
Anyway, okay, before we have to start rounding up.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, I feel like they should have, she should have explored other options. I know they brought up the option of adoption, but she said no because she said that she felt like she needed to be ready to adopt, and I'm just
Is that
kind of
what she
like,
said?
yeah. If you read the subtitle, like when I read it, I was like, what? For me, that was just kind of like a question mark moment on my head. I was like, wait,
Mm-hmm.
what? You want a child and you don't think adoption is viable because you need to be ready, but you want for
No, I
my own
think she
people.
said something about, you have to have, like, you have to be financially stable. Like, there's a lot
But
of
she is
processes that
already
goes through.
financially stable. So would you not want to be financially stable for your own child? Purpose of
I
like
mean, I'm glad in real life there's a lot of options for people who do have like
exactly.
fertility issues and who do want babies. At the end of the day, like, I feel genuinely, yeah, I feel like that was one flaw in the story plot. Like, she wasn't trying to
Look at any other
explore, yeah, her
options.
other options. But I think
Surrogacy
that's
is
also
there.
based on the fact that she just wanted to go through that actual process of having your own, like, baby in your womb and everything. I think
I
that was
guess
her main
so. Yeah.
issue. Because yeah, you're right, there is surrogacy and so, but let's not be insensitive to the fact that in Korea there are like quite strict like laws. Because I know, like, for example, like, what, like, for a sperm donor, for example, I think you can only donate sperm once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, you can only donate
We've
sperm
learned
once.
something new.
And there's also like there's quite a lot of like quite complex laws that goes into like these kind of things, like with fertility and
And
trying
surrogacy.
to be and surrogacy. And I think surrogacy, I'm not sure if surrogacy is even legal. I'm
Is
not
it?
sure. I'm not sure if it is. I'm not sure. I hope I'm not giving alternative facts. But I think I'm not sure it's legal in Korea. Well, in South Korea. I'm not talking about North Korea, but I don't think it's legal. But I stand corrected. Please don't quote me on
So,
this,
our
please.
listeners, if you know or if you currently live in Korea, please do let us know what the laws are. We probably might have to look it up and actually attach
Yeah,
ours.
but I know that what I do know is there are quite strict rules that go into like people who do have fertility issues and
Mm,
would like to explore other options. I know definitely a lot of people have had to like leave the country and um get their procedures done outside, like for example IVF and things like that. Not because they don't have adequate healthcare, they clearly do. In Korea, it's just there are quite strict rules there when
mm.
it comes to having a baby that's like that's not through the normal natural conception of just having sex. So
So that's true.
yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. Like I didn't really think about that perspective. Because we are fortunate to live in a society where you have surrogacy, you have adoption, you have fostering. So there's plenty of ways
Mm,
to have a child,
mm,
and if you're not I don't want to be insensitive, but if you are going through fertility issues, so it is a different perspective, when trying to look from a mother's point of view because we're both not moms and we're both not
yeah.
so it's an interesting. But you know what? It's made me appreciate my mom a whole lot more. You know,
Mm,
especially like when we get into that stage of life when we actually have kids or decide whether we want to have kids or not, then it's like you have to think about all this. You're bringing a human being onto this planet.
mm,
So it was interesting and refreshing to watch that perspective. And one thing I really liked that I wrote down, as a quote, is that those who believe pregnancies to be a miracle will keep hoping even when there's only a 1% chance. And I thought
oh,
that was a
that's cute.
beautiful, beautiful quote. Like, for some people, they pop babies like they pop candies. So, and
Mm, sis. Mm,
no
anyway.
shade, no shade. But then for some people, it's actual a miracle for them. And
Mm.
motherhood, I feel like is something every woman,
Parenthood in general, to be honest.
parenthood, yeah, not just motherhood and fatherhood.
Mm,
Parenthood in general is something that a lot of people have to decide whether it's something they want to, attain or if something they don't. So, kudos to those that, go down that path. And
mm.
kudos to those that don't go down that path because either path, like that
Yes.
job
Oh my
post.
God. Yes. That was I was waiting for you to finish your statement so I could actually say that's one of the things I loved about this drama. It also kind of it showed a different home as well, which was
Mm,
Yun Ho, one of Harry's colleagues.
colleagues, yeah.
So she was basically going through this issue of like she didn't want kids and her husband didn't want kids and they both already agreed that they don't want kids and they never want kids.
Exactly.
And so like she was happy, but I think her in-laws wanted kids, like they wanted grandkids obviously. So like she was having issues with that, and I just really loved the fact that this drama was able to highlight like what different scenarios in different homes and what people go through, like when it comes to like the fact that you can choose to not have kids and still be happy, like you don't
Exactly,
always
because
have
a
to
lot
go
of
the
people,
conventional route.
exactly, a lot of people, when they think about marriage, they think about, oh, definitely having kids. And they
Yeah,
never actually think that actually, if we don't want kids, we don't need to have kids. If we just love each other, then loving each
that's
other is
enough.
enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And
I
the thing
love
is,
that.
a lot of the time, it's not even the couples that have the issues. Sometimes it's the people around, it's the
That's
pressures that have been put
true.
around, like
There's
from
the
the family,
people.
from friends, and things like that. And then I really respected the fact that she never wavered.
Mm,
She didn't waver even when they had arguments and stuff. She didn't really waver like on the fact that she didn't want kids and they weren't gonna have kids. And I really loved the fact, I really liked that the drama highlighted that, because it's just like, yes, you can be happy without it. Like a lot of people can still be happy, and like
Exactly.
the fact that it just highlighted that I choose what I want. Like, so Harry
Exactly.
chose what she wanted,
She wanted to
Yoonho
have
chose what
children.
she wanted, and I
Exactly.
just really loved that they were able to show that, and they were also even her old boss, the one that was editor in chief before she chose what she wanted. Like, I just like that everybody got to choose what they
Choose.
wanted, and that,
Exactly.
yeah, that made me happy because I was just like, yes, like the fact that she didn't waver, the fact that they didn't make her then end up having a child in the end or by mistake or something. Like, she got what she wanted, which was not to have a kid, which is still very normal. And we need to, like, because I know, like, from my mom, like, if I told my mom I didn't want to have kids or something, she'd probably have a heart attack. Like, nah, she'd probably break down. She'd probably, like, cause I come from a Christian background, so like my mom would probably have prayer and fasting for me every week. She'd probably have night vigils. Nah, cause if I said, mom, I don't want kids, you
And I
want
think it's
family
also a
meeting.
cultural thing, as well.
Yeah, it is a cultural thing, and
Yeah.
which is really nice to see as well. And I've noticed quite a bit. There's a lot of overlap with like Nigerian culture and like
Nigerian.
Korean culture with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, like with the way they respect each other, like the way they have to respect the parents, with the way they put like a respectful speech depending on if they're talking to
An
someone that's
older
older
person
than them,
or
yeah, or
younger.
if or someone that's the same age as them.
And I
Yeah,
think
like
that's why
there's a
we
lot
can
of
relate to
overlap.
a lot of their dramas.
Yeah.
And when I started watching Korean dramas, first of all, I loved it for like, the high school. When I started, was like really young. High
Mm.
school, oh my God, cute boys. But then as I,
Tell me your first drama was not Boys Over Flowers.
to be honest, my first drama was Boys Over Flowers, but my first ever anything Korean was 200 Pounds of Beauty. That's what got me into.
Really? No,
Yeah.
for me was Boys Over Flowers was my gateway.
Is that what we call it? Gateway.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So 200
I don't know. I just said it.
movie I saw, so my gateway, and then I started looking for more stuff because I just found it was just so interesting for me. And then, it was a different storyline. There wasn't really anything I felt like, rubbish, as in like, kissing and all that kind of stuff. Especially at that age.
I like me
Like,
some kissing.
I like it now, but like at that age, I found it a bit cringy. You know what I mean?
Really? No, please. That was what I wanted to see, all the kissing.
No,
Grab her by the
I
neck.
found it cringy. Honestly, I'm not a PDA type of person at all.
Really? I
Yeah,
kind of, I don't
no,
know.
I couldn't. Like, I really can't. Like, I'm just out. Ugh, cringe. Even
Sis,
now.
I don't know if I share the same sentiment
It's
with
all
you.
right though. Like for me, it's just cringy. But then that's how I got into it, and um, then Boys of a Flower came up as one of them, and then Airs, and then that's it. That
Oh
was
my
the
god, Aries.
formula.
Oh my god, I love
Yes.
Passionate till, as in till death do me part. Passionate is my love for life. No, I love her for life. For
Oh,
life.
Park Shin Hye. Oh, she's
Yeah, I
great.
love her for life. But
You know
anyway,
what?
we're not
I'd
talking
love
about
to meet
Passionate
her.
today.
Oh, no, we have to
Woo!
review one of her dramas. I just love Park Shin Hye, and
Park
she's
Shin
just
Hye. Mm.
an
That is an
unprovoked.
actress and a half. That's what I have to say.
Honestly, she's just
But
so
yeah.
unproblematic as well in the media. Like, she's just you don't even like until you see her next drama, you don't really hear about her like that. You know?
I just love Park Shin Hye.
I
But
know, I
anyway,
know. She's
back to Oh My Baby, because she's not a cast in this.
that's true.
Jang Nara is the main character in this show,
True say.
and sorry, is the main actress in this show. And yeah, I think her acting skills as well was just phenomenal.
No,
She made me want to cry too. There was scenes where she'd be crying. I'm like, sis, don't cry. I'm
it's
gonna
so
cry as well.
sad.
But
We
yeah,
understand
I love this
you.
drama. All in all, yeah. So we're gonna start with our popcorn rating system,
Yes.
and
Oh, do you want to explain to the people what our popcorn
um
rating system is?
um basically, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but basically, yeah. But
Wow.
essentially, um our popcorn rating system is basically that we're gonna just rate what we thought of the drama out of five popcorns, five being the highest and one being the lowest. I would definitely give this a strong 3.5 popcorns.
3.5, so 3.5 popcorns. Can you eat three and a
Yes.
half popcorns?
Yes, you can. You can cut it into. Don't ask me questions, okay? Just take it as it is. Leave me alone. Okay, a popcorn, three popcorns and a kernel, a popcorn kernel. There you go. You're being too technical, okay? 3.5 popcorns and that's it. And that's on period.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 3 popcorns.
Really? Anyway.
You give it 3.5 popcorns.
Because if for a drama to get a 5 popcorn,
This is a 3 popcorn for me. Because, like I said at the beginning, I kind of lost interest. So it was kind of like a drag, after like just having to watch it. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finished it. But then I was just kind of like, oh, I'm so glad this is over now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
I would say it's a 3 popcorn for me. All
Okay.
right. So, guys, we've finally come to the end of our very first episode.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't even know if that's a song, but hey ho.
It is, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so please join us for our next episode. Next Tuesday, by God's grace.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. I keep forgetting it's bi-weekly.
Yes, we are bi-weekly. We're a bi-weekly podcast, guys. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the major
podcasting platforms.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word.
But yes,
yeah,
thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.